How's it going, everybody? My name's Kenpachi, and we're back with more war. Got
Wartime,
my
baby.
partners in the house, Deontay
Yes, sir.
and Mike.
Happy to be back.
Welcome back, Mike.
Welcome back. We are back. Glad to have you back in the house. We missed you for those weeks that you were gone, but we all need a break every once in a while.
Yes, sir.
And before we get into the good, roll that intro.
Got you.
Is the best thing what? Exactly.
And we're back.
Yes.
Oh man, so we've been missing a couple weeks in between episodes, and I got to tell you, man, like so much crazy good anime going on in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, this winter season has been fire.
Absolutely. So,
Starting
what
off
have you been watching?
2024
Mike?
big this year, aren't we? For all the new animes,
sure.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, it's like a list of like 25 different things. It's just like I don't know how I'm gonna get to the end of this.
That's where you got to pick and choose. Do you have a personal life, or do you watch all this good anime? I said fuck the personal life a long time ago.
Yeah. Throw it out the window. It's not a utopia.
I got it. You know what? I spend all this time buying the stuff I have here at my house. I want to be here to enjoy it.
Facts.
True that.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate my house more often.
Mine is because I'm old. You young bucks should be out enjoying life, so I understand.
Man, I'm getting old.
I mean, we know I got like almost double years on y'all, so come on now.
Are you sure? Last I checked, you were 21. Last I checked, you were 21, so
times 2.5.
just barely old enough to drink.
Just barely. Absinthe. Like back when it was legal.
Yeah. I was hoping something a little bit more innocent than absinthe, but
Well, I'm just thinking like that's I don't know why that's what came to mind. I don't drink liquor, so you know.
Hey, that's a plus. That's a plus.
Yeah, you know, I did when I was younger, and then I kept waking up with a hangover and broke. I stopped drinking and all that stuff went away. It was a really cool thing. It was like, wow.
Oh,
I
no
stopped
more
drinking
night
when I was waking up and not knowing where I was.
Right. That night I woke up in the bushes and I'm like, how'd I get here?
Listen, when I quit, I gotta mean it when I say it.
I feel you. I will still have an occasional drink. I'm not like, I don't know. I never went through like a 12-step program or anything. Nothing against those, because I mean, I think that they work for a lot of people and that's great. But now like I said, I just quit it. So it's like if the time feels right, I'll have a drink or two, but
it's just not worth it.
No. Not to mention that since I don't drink a lot, I end up a lot of times with my head in the toilet or the trash can. And like, it don't matter how fly you look when you went out that night, at that moment, you don't look good to nobody.
Nope. You might even change the color of your suit if you're aiming wrong.
Ooh, you ain't lying.
Yes, sir.
So what are you watching this week, Mike?
I've been watching Delicious in Dungeon and Marshall mostly. I've got caught up on those two. Need to catch up on a lot more, but they're the two I'll be mostly talking about with you today.
Awesome. Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon. I can't lie. I knew it was going to be good, but it was kind of like back burner-ish for me. I didn't think it was going to be great, but as it got closer to coming out, my son even came to me and was like, "Dad, this is great. You're going to have to watch this with me." Yeah. And so then we started, it started up, and it's just blown me away.
It's
really
a
impressed.
Great story being told with this series.
Absolutely.
It's a very good, how can I say it? It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not intense, if you know what I mean. It's a nice, slow-paced, good, very well animated, funny storyline. It's like the complete opposite to Solo Leveling, where it's like it's got that game mechanic where one's very fight-based. This one's very slow and, say, comedic-based, I'd say.
Yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon is, which is a fresh take on the genre that I haven't seen before, which is very refreshing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, how often do you watch an anime and you think to yourself, this could be on Food Network? I could be watching this, right after I got done watching Bobby Flay. You know what I mean? It's that kind of easy, laid back show. Like it's got a fight in it. Like almost every episode has had some kind of a battle scene in it, but it's definitely not the focus. Even though the entire point of what they're doing is to get back to that red dragon so they can fight the red dragon and kill it and save his sister.
And eat it.
Fallon. And eat it, of course. I mean, Senshu, is that his name? He's the one. Senshi.
Senshi.
Off.
Yeah, that guy just cracks me up. Like, I cannot lie. He is everything. Like, I could see. I don't know if I'm gonna. You guys will know who I'm talking about, but like, his last name is probably Battlehammer. Him and Bruno are like brothers. Like, if y'all know Dritz Duerden and the whole companions in the Forgotten Realms books. He's like this battle-hardened dwarf. Like, this guy thinks like it looks like he can go into any battle and he's going to make it out alive. But like, while the other guys are over there drinking their beer and stuff and getting ready to like talking about all their fights and everything, he's like chopping up the kill and cooking it so that everybody will have something to eat and regain their strength when they're done. It's really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's definitely like softer tones than the other anime that you watch, and even the animation itself, it's like it's real fluid, and like there's no, if you look in at something like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, the animation is very, there's a lot of angles in it, there's a lot of the lines are very separated. This, it's like everything's kind of fluid. It almost looks like it could have been colored in with crayon at points, like it's real textured, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like I said, just it's textured and fluid, like what life is. Whereas the animation in those other shows is very much like, you're not going to get skin detail in Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer, but you'll notice the skin detail in Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah.
They make talk about how, oh, this is going to cook this way or that way, So does that make sense? Like what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, it's pretty much like they get really fine into the detail of these characters' skin, the coloring of it, the way that light bounces off of it, and the different shadings of it. Like when they're in dark settings, like when they're in a tunnel, and the only lights that they got is the elf's staff when it lights up the room. So it's like, man, they go pretty hard with their details.
They go very much into detail when they're cooking. Like when you look at it, your mouth waters from going, yeah, that tastes good.
Yeah,
that smells good. That texture on that scorpion, I'd have ate it. I would have been in there for it.
Yeah, I would have been like, stick my fork right in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them dishes they're making look pretty good, but I mean, it's also a cartoon. They're going to make everything look like they want it to look. So, but yeah, I would totally eat everything they're making, though. I would try everything once.
For sure, because the way they do that grand entrance whenever he's done cooking, like they play this intense music in the background while he's cooking and reading off the ingredients to you, and then they do this when the food's done. It's just like boom, boom, boom. The title pops up across the screen, all dramatic, and it's just like, God.
Am I the only one that's like pausing it when that goes on to make sure you read what everything on the screen? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to real bad. I was like, oh, let me make sure there's not something on here I could steal and cook in my house or something. I was like, God, man, this show is off the chain. I saw Senshi, and the first thing that came to my mind was like, this has got to be Kenpachi's spirit animal or something.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, I am all about the food. I'm a fat man that got here legitimately. Like, I worked. I put in the time at the table, let me tell you.
I heard that.
Nothing like enjoying food.
Absolutely. I do like the difference in how another thing about it is that the difference in the characters, like they each have their own thing that they do. If you watch a lot of anime, everybody's good at everything. Everybody needs to have all the skills, and everybody does this, so they can all go off on their own and do everything on their own. These people play on each other. Like Marcel is a spellcaster. That's all she does. That's all she does is cast spells, and she's talking to them about the magical things.
Yeah,
well, she does complain. And she is never happy with the food they're cooking, which is kind of funny. But she also offers a different take. Like I said, the fact that she has been to the magical school and has the book that talks about those things, like with the Mandrake, when they pulled it out, the way that Senshi had been doing it, he didn't get sick from it, but he also said that the way that she did it, that letting it scream and being far enough away from it that, it didn't affect you, that
tasted better.
It tasted better. It made it more velvety and it just made it better in the dish altogether. So it's neat the way they Chilchuck, the one episode where there was all the traps, he went in and he's like, look, you're the cook. When we got something to cook, I come to you. I don't try and tell you how to cook it. When it comes to traps, you come to me, you shut the fuck up and do what I say. You don't do shit on your own.
That's literally how that conversation went.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, you tell him. So I really like that. Like when it came time and they needed to have someone sneak through and fight in the very last episode with the mollusks in the armor, they had Leos, because they're like, look, we can take on these guys out here working together, but we want you to get to the end because we don't know what's going to be on the other side of that door, and you're the fighter.
Right.
So it's like it's very much they rely on each other. They work together, and they each fill their role. So it makes it really interesting to watch them actually use teamwork in what they're doing. It's
Absolutely.
as opposed to a lot of anime, like I was saying, everybody does everything. They all go off on their own and just do it all.
Right.
So,
real quick, I'll give a shout out to the comment section. We're not able to see them over on the StreamYard side once again because of Facebook. Raiden Hayes J Gaming is in the comment section. Shout out to my boy Trent. And Mary Love, that is my mother. So, hey, mama.
hey,
Thank y'all
everyone.
for tuning in. Yep.
Yes, thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm going to keep an eye on these comments.
Yeah, I tried to have that up, but I have not gotten that one up yet. So I've got
It's all good.
Twitch and YouTube up, but
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can help everybody transition over to YouTube because it's honestly, they catch every comment. So Facebook has let us down for way too long.
Well, I'm going to be honest, guys. I wasn't planning on going into like the whole Delicious in Dungeon review, but we kind of did. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about Delicious in Dungeon?
For me, I'm kind of intrigued where the story will go because you've got that whole golden castle under the ground, kind of mystery going on there, and how far down does this? Because they're going down levels, so I'm kind of intrigued what's at the bottom. I feel like that's going to be what the story's going to be going forward. Getting his sister Fallon first, but what's underneath that dragon? Is there another floor?
Right. Well, and I'm assuming that along the way, we're going to most likely pick up other people, drop some off. There was 2 or 3 other people in their group when Fallon teleported them out of the dragon area. So I imagine that's just, typical character development and drama. We're going to run into those people again at some point.
Maybe, or they'll pick up 2 new people. I thought they would go pick the 2 up when they were after the Basilisk episode. I thought they would go join them.
Oh,
right. But it hasn't happened yet. We'll wait and see because I have a feeling we'll see more people join them, but or at least see some of the people again. It seems like this dungeon, although it's big and laid out, they have a set place they're going. Like they've been to these places before. So I imagine they'll see people that know that same route along the way.
I do have 2 last things. One of them was, do you guys think this series was inspired by Dungeons and Dragons?
I mean,
I think it's a parody.
The game? You mean the game or like the old animated TV series?
Some in that nature.
I'm going a parody of the old animated series. It's got that kind of feel to it.
I can see whereas the characters do sort of resemble them, but in being a super huge fan of both the game and the old thing, for me, this is just another anime in the fantasy genre. I don't feel like they may resemble some of the characters from the Dungeons and Dragons series a little bit, but there's not nearly as many of them. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but the old Dungeons and Dragons series was actually basically an isekai. They came from our world and fell into the Dungeons and Dragons world, and they each only had one thing about them that they could use. It was like a magical item that they could use. So this is completely different in its whole premise, but at the same time, like I said, I can see resemblances in the characters that we have now and the characters that we had then. So,
Okay, so it's a Dungeons and Dragons meets Food Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. That's exactly kind of what I was thinking.
In a nutshell.
Yeah,
with less the lewd scenes from Food Wars.
Right.
Yeah, that is a fact.
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched one episode of that show and I never went back. When I watched it, it was a couple years ago, and I've got 2 teenage sons. Ooh. And just listening to it, I was like, I can't be watching stuff that they're going to hear this and have to come in and be like, "What you watching, Dad?"
Oh, Dad.
No.
The funny thing would be, it's less embarrassing to be caught watching porn than it would be to watch Food Wars.
Exactly.
True.
They're like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, these girls are moaning over food, and they're like, "Well, that's." And they're like, "I know. I don't know why they're doing it."
The cooking is just that good.
They don't even look like Sanji. I don't get it at all.
Oh man.
If they look like Sanji, I could see the girls moaning like that, but
yeah, just a couple teenagers and dueling it out. Yeah, let me see. One. So that is the key visual for Delicious and Dungeon. I
guess I could say the animation is sort of reminiscent of the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon as well. But I would have to go and look. But I've said earlier that if you watch some of the old like Christmas cartoons, Rankin and Bass cartoons kind of had the same look to them that I was trying to describe earlier, that I know I did a horrible job of describing it.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, that's Laos. I can't pronounce Laos.
Yeah, Laos.
Tall, the tall guy on the left with the blonde hair, and then the one on the far right. That is
Marcel.
Marcel, and Chilchuck is right beneath her with the plate
and
in his hand.
Yep, and in the middle there is Senshi.
Boy, Senshi. he might carry this show. The other characters are incredible, but man, Senshi is so close to just stealing the show from his compadres.
Hey, so am I the only one that caught the end of that last episode where with the mollusk things in the armor? Did you see the thing in his sword at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the queen. I think that's the one that laid the eggs. For me,
it very well could be. I just was like, cool. There's one of them in there that he let live. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah, it's crazy that he was well aware of that thing too. It's just like, what are you planning on doing with that if you're not going to eat it right now?
Well, on the road snack, isn't it? You may get hungry a little bit later on. Snack out.
He was like, yeah, I got leftovers. What about y'all?
Exactly. To him, that's just like taking a doggy bag home with him.
Pretty much. He was like, you can just pull out your sword, no big deal. He was like, hey guys, look what I got.
Whoa.
Seconds. Uh-oh.
I stepped into somebody pulling out their sword. That's dangerous territory.
Yeah. You gotta have a parental
and
advisory.
Deontay was standing up there like this, and I'm like, pulling out their sword, and you're like this. What's going on? Like, I'm just leaving.
It's like,
no, come join us. Nice little sword fight.
Yeah. I'm God.
So, what were you saying? You were talking about the sword that was it Laos, or had you guys moved on?
the sword that Leo's had with the mollusk queen potentially inside of it. Yeah, and he was fully aware of it. So I was telling Michael, or just talking to him about like what are the possibilities he could be doing with that, and Michael's just like, "Yeah, I'm saving it for a snack later on."
Well, do you want a spoiler? Because I happen to be reading about things and I could tell you something about it, but I'm not going to if you don't want to know.
I'd rather wait and see.
I'll wait then. So then anything else on Delicious in Dungeon?
That's it for me.
Yeah, I think we said everything.
Awesome. So then what do we want to do next? Do you guys, let's see, how about, have you watched any Marshall Deontay?
I still haven't started it yet.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, you two choose. Which one of you wants to go next? Because Mike's got Marshall to talk about and Deontay has got Unwanted Undead. And I'm caught up on both of them, so I'm going to talk about both.
Yeah, my time ran just out. I got home at 3:20, and I was like, I could get at least one episode of Undead Unwanted Adventure. Nope, that 20 minutes would have put us way over. At our start time, so I'm like, nah, I have to wait till the next episode to review it or something, or in the future.
So you didn't get any of it watched yet?
Nah.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go over it a little bit and then we'll move on because obviously we went a little bit long on Delicious in Dungeon because it's so damn good.
So damn delicious.
For real. All right. Undead Unwanted Adventure is the story of Rent Fana. He's a 25-year-old bronze rank adventurer. He gets eaten by a dragon in the very first couple minutes of the show. Like, it's the first thing you see happen. They're talking about how he's been a bronze rank adventurer for 10 years and he just can't get any stronger and move up. He is forever weak. Okay.
Hold on.
Goes out.
Is this solo leveling?
Yeah. It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
He gets eaten by this dragon and he turns into a skeleton. He comes back and he's a skeleton and he's like, I'm a skeleton, but I can move. And he notices that, he's still weak and stuff. But as he's moving along, he finds a sword and he starts killing things. And when he kills them, he sees a little bit of their energy come into him. And each time it does, he gets a little bit stronger. And he's walking around and he kills something one time and it turns him into a ghoul. Like, instead of just being a skeleton, he goes through existential evolution is what he talks about. Someone told him it might be called. And he has like skin on him and he looks kind of like your typical zombie. And he notices that he's much stronger and he can move a lot better than he did as a skeleton. And then he's moving along. He was never able to use magic, spirit magic, divinity magic, none of that. It seems like there's 3 different kinds in the show, but now he can use all 3 kinds. So obviously, whatever happened, he's stronger now than he ever was before. But he doesn't look like he can enlist the help of some novice adventurer. Her name's Rena. He convinces her that he's an adventurer, not a monster. And she goes to town and buys some things for him, so for him to be able to hide his appearance and walk around town. And one of the things she bought was that she did it on accident. She bought a cursed mask that when he put it on, now he can't take it off. So life is just shit for this dude going on. But then you meet this Lorraine, who's a friend of his that they like became adventurers together, and she's a scholar, an academic, and a mage. But he's crashed at her place. They're really good friends and all that stuff. So she is helping him out while letting him stay there while he's like that. And at the same time, she's studying him, trying to help him figure out what his condition is. So that's
Sounds like a
pretty. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it sounds like a good storyline.
It definitely is a lot of fun. They definitely play on the comedy side of the fact that he's a skeleton and a zombie, and a lot of the things in it are silly. They're not necessarily all the time. Like when he gets into fights, he's trying to fight. That's not a silly thing going on, but it definitely has a comedic edge to it, but there's also a romantic edge to it. So it's your typical fantasy anime, just that he got turned into this undead creature first. So
the romance angle is like, is that necrophilia?
I'm assuming so. They're not there yet, so it's none of that yet. It's just I guess you would say a ghoulish infatuation.
Yeah. She ain't coming out the closet, she's coming out the graveyard.
Right. She's going into the closet.
Yeah.
She wants it dark, so she can't see the meat hanging off his face when she kisses him. No, it seems like it is, isn't it? It seems like it's going to be a pretty interesting show. Rent is known around the town. The town is called Malt, and he's known around the town since he wasn't very strong, he would go in with new adventurers and teach them the ropes of how the dungeon worked. So even though he was like the weakest adventurer, he had been doing it for 10 years. So he had a lot of knowledge that he passed on to younger, stronger, more able adventurers. So he was very highly respected and looked upon. So it's something, it's an interesting, like I said, it's going to be an interesting show. And I think that, it's definitely one I'll be sticking with till the end of the season. It's got me hooked for that. So,
yeah, it's only 3 episodes out right now. It's on Crunchyroll right now. So everybody that's interested, you can get caught up within a short amount of time and see what all the hype is about.
Yep. And I'll be honest, get into it now. That way you can watch a couple episodes and keep up with it. It's that good of a show.
Yeah.
So with that, how about we by the way, what you've got right there is in the picture down below with the red hand, that's Rent. The one to the right of him is Rena, and the one above with the blonde hair and the half the picture is cleavage, that's Lorraine.
The animation looks very crisp as well.
It really does.
It is very well done. Like I said, it is not I wouldn't say it's like super special, but it's clean. It's definitely, it looks really good. The monsters look good in it. Nothing looks like it was half-assed. So I like I said, I really enjoy it. I think the story's got enough potential that it'll keep people interested for a while.
That's what's up.
So after that, we've got 2 shows left, guys. Martial Magic and Muscle and Blue Exorcist. So do you want to go over Martial real quick, Mike?
Yeah. This season got me hooked, to be fair. Still as funny as ever. But it set up a lot of mysteries coming for the future, especially with Prisoner Zero. Like,
Yeah.
the main antagonist this season's going to be that. And the mystery behind it, the intrigue, has got me really invested in it, as well as in episode 2, seeing all the divine visionaries. I just want to see them in action now. I just want to see how good a battle between them will be. One being sand, one being electric, one being this. It's like they go hard when they have to fight, and it's going to look amazing.
For sure.
The comedy's still fantastic with Marshall trying to light a candle without magic, so he gets a stick on hard marble floor and rubs it so fast that it makes a flame tornado around him, and everyone's just gobsmacked of what he's doing, which is he's doing magical powers but with pure strength, which is just hilarious for me.
Wow.
The last episode where Rain Amos having his wand transform into wand transformation Ares, and that attack blew me away. That was top tier animation where he used on, I can't remember his name, but he just reminds me of Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, because he's got that kind of mannerism to him. I think it's Margaret Macron,
something like that. Margaret. Yeah, it was. That was had the treble clef over the eye.
Yeah, but yeah, and Ramus having a third line, and only magicians with 3 lines are chosen by God, and then he brought out that attack. I was like, that is some top tier animation. That attack, it looked amazing. And
oh god,
he left nothing. He just left an entire trench in the ground from his attack. So
yeah,
I feel like the fight scenes are just going to get more and more intense and more dramatic, and the animation is going to be top tier when it happens. So I'm looking forward to what's going to be at the end of this season, if this is 3 episodes in and the animation's this good and the battles are this good. There's only one way to go, and that's up.
That's true. It was a really interesting fight, and seeing like the other guy's magic was really cool too. He reminded me of I'm never going to remember his name, but Yu Yu Hakusho, the guy that fought Kurama, that had all the invisible bombs that he threw out. This guy's musical notes was like that. So like that's kind of what it made me think of, was that. But his musical notes, they blew up when they heard sound, I guess is what it was. It's like as soon as you start speaking your chants, it's like boom. And so that was it was really, really interesting. Like I said, I'm interested to see and then on top of that, where are they going to go with the whole, they bought the wand for Marshall, and it was the iron wand that was buried, and he's like, oh, they say it's to this elven fountain, but nobody's ever been able to lift it. And Marshall goes over there and he's like, this is the wand I want. Dude, it's like so One Punch Man, over the top funny, but like exactly, it's like you've got all the animation and hilarity of One Punch Man combined with the magics of Black Clover.
Yeah,
that makes plenty of sense. Oh man, I'll never forget Asta.
See, don't I look like I feel better?
He just curious.
This is Daddy's boy here. He comes up and lays with me.
He's like, it's time to get some attention.
All right, you ready to go? He's like, no, I'm going to stick my butt in your face.
Hey, hold on, let me disrespect you before I leave. Yeah, I think this is the right cover for season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the main character in the front.
That's
And
the
to be
headmaster
honest,
on top.
yeah, I was gonna say. I thought that was him, but I can't tell who's on the bottom. I imagine that's the. And is it Innocent Zero or
Prisoner Zero? I'm pretty sure.
Prisoner Zero? I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
But you've also got the mystery of Marshall's birth, because no one knows where he came from. So that's another mystery to tie into it.
Man, we went from One Punch Man to Mob Psycho to this.
It is definitely a little bit different. Let's see here.
And we got one more anime.
Yes, Innocent Zero Group.
What is it?
Yeah, criminal organization of dark magic users whose criminal activities range from conspiracy, mass murder, human trafficking, and the smuggling of magical creatures and drugs.
So all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. If you watched American news and you read this, you would think they'd have to be just immigrants. I mean, they're bringing conspiracy, murder, human trafficking, and drugs. That's immigrants, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't bring that into this, but I'm reading it and I'm going, man, this sounds like watching the news now.
Yeah, in case y'all didn't know, he was being very sarcastic.
Very, very sarcastic. Well, I mean, am I though? I mean, that sounds like the news. I mean,
Fox News for sure. There I go, name dropping.
No, you went and got political. I was just being. It was just news when I was saying it. But
turned the flashlight on. I pointed it.
Right. But yeah, that group is going to be badass. I can't wait to see who they are. There's obviously we met one of them, didn't we?
The end of last season, yeah.
Yeah, the end of last season we met one of them, but we really didn't even see what they could do, and didn't Rain. What's his name?
Finn's
guy
brother,
you just talking
Rain.
about, Rain Ames. Yes, I was getting his name wrong. Rain Ames, didn't he beat him and send the guy off? Isn't that what happened?
No, Marshall fought him. He was the one with the gravity power, like he was throwing meteorites at him.
Okay.
And then he leaves through his portal.
Right. Marshall is ridiculous. He's hilarious.
Man.
Also, at the end of the last episode, tournament's about to start as well, so that's going to pick up the fight animations as well, because I'm not sure what it's going to be. It looks like it may be a Royal Rumble. Everyone fights each other, which would be one hell of an episode next week, because that's going to look amazing.
Yeah.
For sure. Can't wait for that. Who did you say was in the comments, Deontay?
Denny Stewart is a Marshall fan too. So I don't know if he's in the comments per se right now, but he was talking to me earlier about how he loves Marshall, and it's like, man, we got to get him in here for another episode whenever we review it thoroughly.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Yes, sir.
There's one other thing with Marshall. His friend Dot. It reminds me of Reno from Final Fantasy VII. He just looks the spit of him.
I did not know this.
It's the spiky red hair with a bandana across his head. Just looks like Reno from Final Fantasy VII.
He does.
Wow. I don't know what kept me from watching this series, but man, sounds good.
I will tell you though, something that you and I have talked about before, Deontay. His friend Lance, he's another one of those that's got that sister complex. Remember how we were talking about that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
We found the first anime that I'm quitting, Mike. I started that anime that the tank with the defense of 9,999 his labyrinth raids or something, and I started it, and within the first 5 minutes of the show, dude got a nosebleed over his little sister twice. I was like, I don't think I can watch this.
Like, what's wrong with him?
I'm like, it's one thing when it's a secondary character that you're not dealing with them doing this every episode, every couple minutes. I can handle it. Like in Black Clover, like Lance, it's never like, I think we've seen it 2 or 3 times in the 15 episodes of Marshall so far. So he has it, but it's not been a bit like a center point. Man, they had 2 Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think there's a difference between him being supportive of his sister and the guy that you're describing getting a boner from his sister. There's 2 differences.
Well, I mean, but Ghosh in Black Clover, like that dude is always busted a nosebleed when he starts talking about Maria, my little sister. Like that. I don't think. I mean, and she's a little girl, man. Stop.
No.
Okay.
We all know what nosebleeds mean in anime.
Yeah.
Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z is the perfect example of what nosebleeds mean in anime.
He's like the godfather of anime nosebleeds.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. Until you just said it a second ago, I knew that it meant that they found them attractive. But I never realized that it was an allusion to that's when they're popping a boner.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you, you may have really ruined some anime for me, man.
I have not... I'm not the writer of these animes. I've just let you into what it meant.
See?
At least for one of them.
I'm protected and sheltered from the world that's like this. I'm such a good, innocent person. I don't know these things. You're polluting my mind.
I feel like it's more I'm just waking you up to reality.
Oh, it's this one thing is really what it is. But yeah. All right. Enough about sister love. Let's get on to our next anime. It has none of that. I hope. Blue Exorcist. It's the Shimane Illuminati arc.
Yeah.
It's season 3 of the show. We had 6 years between season 1 and season 2, and now 7 years between season 2 and season 3. So I don't have any idea what this anime is actually about anymore. But that's not true. The story is about Rin and Yukio Okamura, who are twins, and they find out that they are the sons of Satan. And they were raised by a priest who was helping them restrain their demonic powers. And this sword had a seal on it. But when they were 16, I think, something attacked. Shiro was their adopted father, the priest that had been raising them. And Ren drew the sword to try and save Shiro. When he did, it ignited the flames of Satan, and he got 2 blue horns. He's got a tail and fangs. Yeah. So it has gone on in the show where he had them all the time and then he loses them for a while. Right now, he's got the tail all the time, but he only gets the horns when he gets mad and starts fighting, I do believe.
Interesting.
Like I said, I'm sure there was more to it than that. Also, Yukio never had anything show that he had the flames of Satan at all until the very last part of the last season. And so now nobody knows about it except for Yukio, and he's like questioning his own, his own thoughts. And like, here it is. I never thought this was capable for me to do this. And am I a demon inside as well? So there's a lot of questioning of himself and his intentions and actions and things like that going on. This third season seems like it's going to focus a lot more on the females in the group. I've heard that leading up to it as well. Shiemi Moriyama, she's the daughter of a lady that ran an exorcist shop in town. I should say that Yukio was an exorcist. Ren, once he pulled the sword and the flames ignited, he decided he wanted to become an exorcist so that he could, learn to hopefully control this and, stop these things from happening, stop bad things from happening to other people in life. So the exorcist he's going to this school with that going on, and that's where a lot of these other people will come in. Shieme, they knew her beforehand, but now she's going to the school with Yukio, Yukio is a professor at the school, and Ren is a student at the school. And then Izumo Kamiki is another one of the females who is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful at the school. She comes from a family of shrine maidens dedicated to the deity Inari, and she's got two little fox demons that, like Shikigami, that do her bidding when she gets into a fight. This is her coming to terms with everyone else getting stronger and catching up to her, and her also hitting walls where she needs help from other people. And she's never had that happen to her before. I believe that as it goes on, her and Shiemi are going to become really good friends. But as it is right now, they are not getting along the best. There's a lot of fakeness, it feels like, is going on between the two of them. And you hear the inner thoughts of the two of them discussing that, talking about it. Like I said, it's been really good. I like the way the story's going. The animation has always been really good with it, so it's not like a severe drop or improvement. Although it is a different animation studio this time that's doing it. I'd have to look it up to see who it is, but yeah, it's more of the story going on, and I don't know exactly where it's going to go yet because it's only a couple episodes in. But like I said, I have a feeling that this is going to be developing. The last two seasons were the male characters developing and actually catching up to Izumo, and so this season is going to be Izumo going, "Nah, fuck you dudes," and blazing out and beasting on their asses. So,
Jesus.
But it's good to see. It is really good to see a series that has a all-around cast. There's men and women in it. Obviously, the two MCs are the twin brothers, but the women were stronger than them in the fights. So that was like, it's good to see that it's not like pushing one over the other, or the women aren't reliant on the men, or it's a really well done story. Everyone plays together well. I don't feel like, even though it looks like Shiemi, like I don't know where it goes, but it looks like she is going to end up falling in love with Ren eventually. So there may be like a romantic arc in the story eventually, but none of that has really been up until now. They're kids and they have kids' feelings. And she even says in this last episode, I don't know if she was, I don't remember if she was actually talking to Yukio or someone else or just thinking to herself, but she makes the comment that she's like, I'm not old enough that I feel like I know what the difference between friendship, love, and love is yet. I'm not to that point in my life that those distinctions are being made. And it's kind of cool to see, it there doesn't have to be a fucking love story in everything. And I like that.
Oh, yeah.
There can be men and women interacting together and no one is trying to fuck anyone. See? It happens in real life all the time. Why doesn't it happen in shows?
Man,
I completely agree.
But yeah,
stories flushed into stories that will be better at it. It sounds like it's very flushed out, like the side characters are flushed out and everything. So yeah, sounds like a perfect anime for me to pick up. So
and here's the thing to look at is that as far as one to pick up, you've got 37 or 38 episodes in the first two total for the first two seasons. And then this third season's 3 episodes in. So you're less than 40 episodes to watch the whole thing. So
that's 20 hours at max. Yeah, get that done in one day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, it's not. If you consider openings and endings and those little bits of recaps that they do, you only get about 20 minutes of episode. So you can technically get 3 an hour. So you're really only looking at about 14 hours worth of anime there. I could definitely do that in a day. If I didn't do anything and didn't get up to go to the bathroom or anything else,
yeah,
I could do that.
Or
I'm not going to do that. But, like that time I read 110 chapters of Chainsaw Man in like 2 days.
That's about as long as it took me.
Man, once you get going in Chainsaw Man, you're just like flip. I wish the anime would have been that good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the anime could have had some room for improvements, but I love that it's in Mappa's hands. So we'll hope for the next season, or at least the movie that's getting ready to come out, to be a success. You gonna make it?
I keep thinking,
oh, we just witnessed a moita.
Between the bull and my allergies, it's kicking my ass. But I did not care for the CG animation in Chainsaw Man. I watched it and I liked some of it. I mean, and especially after the first couple episodes, it was better. But the first couple episodes were pretty jarring, I thought. And you know how we were talking about it the other day. If you are watching a show and the CGI animation is distinct enough that it pulls you out of watching your show and you're like, whoa, that is not good CG animation. That is not what it should do, in my opinion. And
it's not atrocious.
And Chainsaw Man definitely did that the first couple episodes. Like when they went into certain parts, I was like, eek. Are you sure this is Mappa? I mean, because, yeah, it didn't look good. I didn't care for it, and that's why it didn't perform like they wanted it to. I was kind of surprised we were getting more of it. Honestly, I thought for sure that they were gonna cancel it because they had talked, like, there was a lot of people talking about how bad it underperformed. Like,
I loved it for the story. I didn't go for the CGI or the animation. I was like, the Mappa, you can kind of count on the animation a little bit, but this CGI era is just like, I'm gonna always be pissed off every anime I watch, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just let them slide.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to let them slide. I'm not going to stop watching Chainsaw Man, but it was jarring enough, like I said, that I was kind of surprised that they were going ahead with it.
It's crazy.
See, I liked it. The CGI wasn't that bad for me. I think with Mappa, when they took over Attack on Titan, I think when I first saw the Titans and CG, that threw me out of that season more than seeing it from the start. Like with Chainsaw Man, for me, it started with CGI, so it didn't really bother me. But when Mappa took over the Beast Titans, seeing that for the first time in CGI, that threw me out of that episode for a bit. I was like, what's this? But yeah, Chainsaw Man, I think it's still going because it's such a pop culture thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just power. Power is, I think every cosplayer is cosplayed as either Power or Makima. So
yep, I definitely see what you're talking about because, yeah, it's huge in pop culture. When we were at Anime Con and Comic Con, there was several Makimas and Chainsaw Mans walking around. I don't remember seeing a Power, or wait, no, I did see one, but there was only one. I think there was only one that I saw.
There was one dingy. There was one dingy. I think it Cape Comic Con, or it might have been Cape Anime.
I may have just missed them, or I may have seen them and not recognized the cosplay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was either Cape Anime or Cape Comic Con, but whichever one you got. But then again, I do remember like our tables were kind of kept off the floor, so everything that was going on the floor, one of us probably missed it. So
right. I liked where we were at Comic Con, and we're going back there for next Comic Con. We took, in fact, actually, we kind of did it different, but we are going to be in that entire window space next time. Yeah, we got the whole window space instead of leaving like the 4-foot spot over to the side for somebody else. So that way we can expand the tables out and give Raven more room and have more room for ourselves as well. Yeah, it'll be next Comic Con is going to be a lot of fun. But Anime Con is coming up too. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, a couple months out from that.
Man, it's coming up quick.
Yeah, it is.
7 weeks, man. You say a couple months, but 7 weeks doesn't feel like a couple months.
For real, 7 weeks it just go, and it'll go by quick too. I'll wake up one morning and I'm like, oh shit.
Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen. And I think they said they've still got a couple people they're going to be announcing. At least one more special guest they said they're going to announce.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be fun.
I can't wait, man. This is going to be a great time. We'll have some good panels ready.
Yep. We might have a panel, or we might be doing War live from there as well, you said.
Absolutely.
So, that is an interesting thing. We have a Comic Con and an Anime Con here in Cape Girardeau, Mike. And when it's going on, what we're going to try and do is set it up where we have you either on audio playing to the audience or have like, next to the table, have a screen set up and your picture on it. And that way,
That's amazing. I've got a Comic-Con. I go more as a spectator in May. So far, I've got tickets to see Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. I met Misha Collins last year, and I've got a costume to go as Toji from JJK. So I need to buff up a bit more, but yeah, I'll be going as Toji. So I might just throw that on when you put me on camera. And your one, so it'll be Toji online.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll love that.
For sure. We still got to see if we can get it all set up. So nothing's set in stone yet, but, plan big.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Go big or go home.
That's right. Go big. Yep. Well, I think that's the end of it for us this week. Unless you guys have anything else that you want to talk about online.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
I figured that kind of wraps it up. Well, then let's go ahead and get out. Did you have any shout outs you wanted to do, Deontay? Don't you got a birthday coming up this weekend or something?
Oh, we sure do. So we're trying to get the main podcast situation figured out. So we'll stay tuned for further details on that. As far as SNN late nights go, we'll have a new episode this Sunday, and you guys will be able to celebrate Emperor Will's birthday with him. And the big guy turns 32 this year, and so he's 1 day older and 1 year nerdier. So we'll have a lot of fun topics to talk about that night. Might even talk about cryptids and supernatural stuff. So it's going to be a great time. And we'll also cover solo leveling because we want to have an in-depth review of solo leveling on late nights. So it'll save the burden from the weekly anime review. So
I feel you.
It's going to be a good time.
We need to set up a special emoji for that day so that everybody can come in and hit their spank emoji. Give you the proper amount of spankings that he's supposed to get.
Yeah. I want to see 32 from each of y'all.
Oh, man. It's funny. Well, if that's it then, we will see you all later. Thanks for coming to see us. Remember, come see us at War, where we tell you which anime is hitting and which anime you should be quitting. Have a good day.
Thanks for tuning in.
Peace out.